So riddle me this, folks. How bad is the homeless issue in Ontario? Well, it's this bad. Recently, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario stated that the province is now home to at least 1,400 homeless encampments in cities and towns. That's right, more than 1,400 tent cities in Ontario alone. You know, the other day I dropped by Toronto's Dufferin Grove Park, which, as you can see with the footage, is yet again overrun with homeless encampments. It's also very frustrating, really. The same squatting occurred at this park some 4 summers ago when a bunch of kooky activists called Afro-Indigenous Rising set up their occupation of the park. These wackos had previously taken over Nathan Phillips Square, breaking some 11 sections of the Trespass Act. Oddly, security and law enforcement had more of an issue with journalists covering this disgrace than they had with hobos who were prone to violence. Here, check it out.
We're going to go there. David's going to try and do journalism. Ideally, we're done in half an hour because nothing happened.
I need people here now!
What would you like us to do?
Off my land, that's what I would like.
We've got another gender.
Touch my fucking elder.
Your elder?
What you're doing is causing a disturbance with everybody here. I need to ask you to leave, okay?
What have I done to
You're causing disturbance.
Come on!
That in Toronto, the town square is a place where a journalist can go peacefully. So if that is not true, we need to know it.
But after 3 weeks, then Toronto Mayor John Tory took a break from chasing his mistress around the cottage and finally ordered the town square to be cleared of these thugs, which only prompted the mob to move a few kilometers northwest and occupy Dufferin Grove Park, ruining this green space for families. After weeks of this nonsense, the Dufferin Grove encampment was finally torn down by a legion of security and law enforcement. Check out the lunacy that occurred on that day.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm just reading your breast. What does that say exactly?
It says no justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
It's not on behalf of anybody else.
It's not necessarily helping the situation because this is what they're here to do. They can't use any of this footage anyway.
Did I trigger you?
Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Get the f*** out of my face.
You have white skin. You're always occupying every f***ing space in this.
Because you're a coward. Because you're a coward. Because you don't want to answer our questions.
You're in my face.
Excuse me?
It's extremely offensive. You are the reason people are out here.
What the f*** is wrong with you?
And yet here we are some 4 years later, and while Afro-Indigenous Rising is deader than disco, tents have returned to Dufferin Grove Park yet again. It's kind of like a game of whack-a-mole, isn't it? Now, a couple of observations. While so many Toronto parks are overrun with encampments, is it not the height of audacity that the City of Toronto criticizes the province of Ontario for its plans to redevelop Ontario Place and the Science Centre? And as far as I can tell, those redevelopment plans are improvements on the status quo. Meanwhile, Toronto has surrendered so many of its parks to vagrants, and this is supposed to be, the new normal under Mayor Olivia Chow. Give me a break. And in the department of there's plenty of blame to go around, why do the Justin Trudeau Liberals continue to welcome illegal aliens into our country and then putting them up in 3-star hotels, especially since we have so many homegrown Canadians who are in dire need of shelter? This is madness. And whatever happened to the idiom, charity begins at home? You know, folks, going to a park in Toronto once upon a decade was really a pleasant experience. Now you got to watch out for tent city vagrants. You got to watch where you step in case there is excrement or a needle. It is another disgrace. Please go to our new petition. That's fixourcities.com. Fixourcities.com. We want to get as many signatures as possible on that petition and deliver it to the powers that be, saying that this so-called new normal has to come to an end.